Hey everyone, Morten here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my attempt at a thread, a vinyl community thread. So this is me thinking that I should go downstairs and rifle through some of my old records today. Tons of snow outside, so might as well pass the time somehow. And I came across some records that I guess I would deem both some funny and some what the hell is this? So the thread is if you can find, let's say, 5 albums that you either find you makes you laugh, either because it's a comedy album or just because the artist screwed up or whatever, or it's a record that is just weird and you're thinking, or maybe it's weird that you got it. Anyway, so let's get started. The first one is Bad News. Bad News. This was sort of a British. I suppose Spinal Tap. They made a bunch of sort of mini movies, comedy shows, and with various actors and themes. And one of them were Bad News, which were an incredibly bad, just dreadful new wave of British metal type band, and it was a sort of a rockumentary. And you might recognize 3 of these guys. I don't know exactly who this man is, but it's we have Adrian Edmundson and Mayal. And sorry, I keep forgetting your name, but these 3 guys, of course, were from the comedy show The Young Ones. They would later work together on Richie Rich and Catflap was sort of a failed series, but that led into Mayal and Adrian Edmundson working on Bottom. But they also did this, and I suppose they try to recap some of the success from the Young Ones' number 1 Christmas single with Cliff Richard, Living Doll, and have these guys also, release music. I don't remember if this is the proper music from the series or it's just them shouting it at each other. You have a cashing in on Christmas there, but yeah, funny stuff. I of course love this, and I dearly miss Mayal. But that was Bad News. Next one up is more in the category of what the hell. This is I picked up in a used record store many years ago. The Beatles Story, a narrative and musical biography of Beatlemania on 2 long play records. This is truly, I mean, talk about cash grab. Selections from their hit records, interviews with the Beatles and their fans, many new photos, their whole story on record. I mean, I can see a 10-year-old getting this, listening to this, and in America and running for her Monkees collection. Of course, I don't think the Monkees were even a thing yet when this came out. It's like spending a very special evening in the company of the Beatles themselves. Really? Is it? Is it though? Millions of words have been written about them, and we're adding to that. Nice gatefold though. And yeah, there are photos. They are correct about that. On stage with the Beatles, how Beatlemania began. Yeah, here's one that'll make the kids scream for joy. Man Behind the Beatles, Brian Epstein. Or Man Behind the Music, George Martin. Sneaky haircuts and more about Paul. Liverpool and all the world. Yeah. I think it's really cool that I picked this up for some reason, but I am fairly sure, I mean, this was many years ago, that I came home, played part of it once, and went, I've been screwed. The next one. So, in 1980, there was a big hit in Norway called Hun forelsket I læreren. She's in love with the teacher. By a band called The Kids. And this is it. However, they released their first album, and I wanted it. And that album was called Norske Jenter, or Norwegian Girls. So I think I asked my mom who were, I think she was going for some reason yet again to Sweden, was gone a while, and I asked her maybe out of fun she would buy me a record or something in Sweden, and she did. But I don't think I was happy when I got this, because as you can see, if you know anything about languages, this is not Norwegian. No, this says Hun forelskad I læreren. So this is the title of the album. Instead of Norske jenter, it's called Hun forelskad I læreren, and it is in Swedish, because God forbid that Swedes have to listen to Norwegians sing in a language that they can perfectly understand, unless they're morons, of which there are more and more, of course. But back then we were watching each other's TV, Swedish TV in Norway, Norwegian TV to some extent in Sweden, much more than these days. Now you got Swedish and Norwegians and Danes meeting, and they're talking English to each other, which makes me cry inside, but never mind. So what happened was that they re-recorded their entire album in Swedish for the Swedish market. So you got songs like Svenska tjejer instead of Norwegian girls, Nya kläder, new clothes, Fan Club, I don't need to translate that one. Rock and roll again. The kids are all right. So not the kids are all right, but the kids are. So you that shoehorn in a Swedish word in the title there. Cool. She's in love with the teacher. Pest, which works in all cultures and languages, I suppose. Gaturock, street rock. Superstar. Ensam, lonely, en liten flicka, where we're probably heading into Jerry Lewis territory there. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure I wasn't too pleased with this, and yeah, all the other kids in my class had it. I don't know. But by the way, two of these members went on to have a fairly big career later on. Not sure which one is which, but one of them started a group called Stage Dolls, which were pretty big. And the guitar player in this band, because they made a second album which was much heavier, and the kids did not like that. But the other member was a Dag Ingebrigtsen. He formed the arguably biggest Norwegian hard rock band ever, and TNT. So there you go. This one, though, we're heading over in funny territory. This is my beloved copy of Steve Martin's A Wild and Crazy Guy. Him at the top of his powers as a stand-up comedian. This is just funny. To this day, I will, if I'm in the right mood, I'll laugh so I start cry. And there we have him. And there's the big hit, of course, King Tut. He made 2 more stand-up albums. Another one which was very much like this and very good. And then some time lapsed, after he made his first movies like The Jerk. The Man with Two Brains. Something where Don't Wear Plaid, and other, his career went. The Jerk was a big success, and then he became a huge star again with Roxanne and stuff, I suppose. But I love the gatefold here. Check out Steve, and he's not playing a banjo; he's playing an electric guitar. Finally, and I want to show you guys the inner state as well. So you got Cats in Handcuffs is one of the titles here, so I suppose this alludes to that. Very nice, very pretty, good-looking Warner label there. And finally, I just want to show you Monty Python is one of the most important things to me in my life, and this was my first Monty Python record. I knew of them before. I'd seen movies with my dad, probably younger than I should have, at the cinema. I remember we had a cinema here in Skagen. We do again now, a tiny one, but where I saw The Meaning of Life. I laughed so I cried, but I was also a little bit miffed, I think, because it was confusing. But anyway, this is Monty Python's The Final Rip-Off. And I laughed so I cried. This came out in 1987, so I would have been 15 or 16 when I heard this. I had never heard a Monty Python record at that time. I've since bought and now own all of their, let's call them studio albums on vinyl. And I have them all on CD in one of those long boxes. And I have it in a later box set, which came out in a sort of a 10-inch record with all the records, as well as one or two which had not been available before or in a long time, because I think the first record was released by BBC. And the funny thing about that box set, which is beautiful, and there's lots of reading material inside, and Terry Gilliam has gone in and made new things for it and gotten out old of his cartoons and everything. But it said that it included a vinyl 7-inch. And I think it took a year before I realized where the hell that bloody thing was. Because it released as a hardcover book with the CDs inside and everything. And I kept looking and looking. I think it was stuck in the sleeve, in the hardcover sleeve, down like that. And when you looked at it, hey, the hype sticker says there's a 7-inch here. I can't find it because I'm living in a Monty Python moment. But anyway, this is a compilation, and a great one at that. And I think this was released before Graham died. This is why there's hope for humankind. This is the funniest thing in the world. I love it so much. Anyway, guys, that was my attempt at a thread. Some ha funny, and some not so what the hell is this. So I hope you guys might think of doing this as well. Maybe you got some weird records you want to show that are funny, or you have some comedy albums, or you have some albums where the artist makes you laugh for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, please click like and subscribe, please comment, and I hope to see you soon in another video.